So Friday recap, uh, pretty quick. Going, well, just looking at the day, we were dumping pretty heavy. We dumped pretty hard in the just since 9:30 yesterday. We just are going down. So really don't want to be fading that necessarily unless we sweep some big draw on liquidity or come into some sort of big gap. Um, but just looking at this low right here would have been my draw on liquidity. Um, Yeah, and also an NQ was for the most part closer to this low, so you'd want to be taking your entries on there. But yeah, so to drop it to the 15 minute, looking at the daily bias, Asia, we there was no SMT up here, but Asia session, we manipulated up at midnight open, swept out this low and displaced lower, and then also we put an SMT with London highs, which from yesterday is a pretty strong draw to at least go to London lows. But going into the morning, London lows were already swept on Nasdaq, and ES has yet to sweep it. So basically, what I was looking at was let's just hop on the 1 minute real quick. Um, 9:30 open was right here, right? And I just wanted to see how ES reacted to the London low. Uh, I still think the draw is lower, but I want to see if he wanted to retrace then and then go back lower or whatever. We did end up getting a nice retracement. And I'll go over why I didn't take that. Um, yeah, so going down, right, we swept it right here. So we sweep that internal low with an SMT, right? So this is where I'm starting to look for trades basically, because I couldn't find an entry for shorts on ES. Um, yeah, we put in this SMT, right? ES is a stronger pair, and we get strong displacement above that high, coming from that SMT. And we inverse some gap, like this big 1 minute gap right here. So I basically wasn't sure if we wanted to reverse here or not. You generally don't want to fade it, but we did displace above that high, and all I can see was a 2022 model, and that kind of tricked me up, I guess. But also I just I didn't like this SMT and then this strong displacement out of it. I didn't really like that. We did end up coming into a 5 minute gap though, right here, right? So we came into that gap and we rejected and we inversed this gap. That like if there wasn't this SMT right here, honestly, I probably would have taken it. But just because that small SMT and then we had that huge displacement out of it after sweeping London low, really wasn't too confident with it. That's fine. That's just my personal opinion. I know plenty of people that took this trade, but I didn't necessarily like it. Um, yeah, it would have obviously worked out, but it's whatever. And then I saw this, right? Just some crazy displacement lower. Um, there was no like clear like draw read trade I could have taken, and there was no like retracements really. Uh, but when I saw that we retraced right here, I believe it was like a 2 minute or 3 minute gap or something, not 3 minute. I think it was Nasdaq tap into the gap or something. Uh, 3 minute maybe, maybe not. But there was at least this 1 minute gap, right? Oh, I'm looking at the wrong thing. I'm looking up. I'm supposed to be looking up here. Okay, well, we tap into this gap, right? And just looking at these, draw was right here on ES, and draw was down here, right? So it looked like ES was a little bit closer, and we got some strong displacement, right? So I was like, bet, okay, I'll just enter off of that, going in a draw read, basically. I was wondering why this looked fucked a little bit. Yeah. So we got that displacement right here, and if we got another displacement, which is exactly what we got, I said I would enter there. My stop's up here, so I don't expect us to go back there. If you look at NQ at this time, NQ did get displacement too. It was basically as clear, but I just saw ES was closer, so I was like, okay, I'll enter on ES. So that was my entry right here. And nothing wrong with this trade, to be honest. Stops are right there. TP was right here. A little over 1 to 5 R. We came up, tapped into the gap, perfectly fine. That's fine. And then we come back up, right? I don't necessarily want to see that, but if I do see that, I want to see it sweep out this high. If we go above this, I want to see it sweep this high and put it in SMT and then immediately get rejection. As soon as we got that rejection, immediately put my stops this high because if we come back up and sweep that, we're probably going to go higher. So I honestly, this is exactly what I want to see. Would rather ES be the weaker pair. Would rather see this SMT than this SMT on this, but is what it is. And then literally as soon as I entered, basically, like you can just see crazy amount of chop. Nasdaq was still going down, and we got to right here where we just edged that low, and then we inversed that 1 minute gap. And for some reason, that spooked me. And I just got to think, like I know where the draw is. I'm confident that the draw is down there. And even though we got really close, we didn't sweep it, and we inverse this 1 minute gap. That 1 minute gap is so deep into discount, it doesn't, not that it doesn't matter, but it's too early to really like get out of a trade, It doesn't really matter. Like if we were higher up in the leg and we inverse the gap, then, we're probably gonna go higher. But yeah, this really doesn't mean much, We have a 2 minute gap probably. Yeah, we had a 2 minute gap that we were still holding. No, it would be right here. So maybe not a 2 minute. We had a 3 minute gap we were holding, right? 3 minute gap. Yeah, a bunch of gaps above it, still unfilled. So, like, worst case scenario, I would like to see it like just come up, fill it, and then go back down. But we were nonetheless holding a 3 minute gap. Um, and basically, so this is my trade, right? And as soon as this low, like as soon as we got displacement below that low, I put my stops to break even. Perfectly fine with that. And then we come back up, trade. Now we're still holding the fair value gap. But what did I do wrong? I saw how far we traded up right here, and I did not like that. So I put my stop loss. Now it didn't work in my favor, right? Because I could have put my stop loss since it's S&P, the stop loss like doesn't really line up with the wick sometimes. So it's either I can put it lower, like right here, or I can put it higher above that wick. So just to be safer, I put it right there. No, that was more dangerous. If you want to be safer, you put it higher up. Really, my stop should have been just above right there, just to cover like the fees of the trade. Um, and I will be doing that next time because it's low-key painful when this shit happens. Because then we came right back down on this candle, we swept it. I didn't get my like full TP, but I would have been out at yeah, this big candle, right? I would have gotten 1.27 RR from the original one. If we did it like right here. And I wanted to add on my position, but I just didn't want to risk it because we just instantly started chopping right at my entry. If it was like cleaner price action and better order flow, I would have been fine, but we really didn't get that. Um, and yeah, so I don't know why I trailed my break even there, like right here. That was retarded. If anywhere, I could have, I just had to keep it at normal break even, but I didn't do that for some reason. Draw read was fine. It was just unfortunate I picked the wrong asset. They're both the same. Same draw and liquidity, same distance, same displacement below the low. There's not much I could have done. I just picked the wrong one. But I saw this come up. Usually I would get scared, but I kept it right there and I trusted in my trade. And then we got displacement down. This is perfectly fine. Move your stop there. And yeah, really not that bad. It was a break even day, not bad whatsoever. I did get broken even profit, but then I risked my profits on something else. I don't remember, but I'm perfectly fine with that because I was like up like 150. Like if I'm risking that, I don't really care. It really doesn't mean anything. But yeah, break even day today. And yeah, this week was overall terrible, but it should be setting up for a better week next week. Um, yeah, we're in the equilibrium of this leg, and maybe we go all the way down here and sweep these lows. But we're getting some more structure than all-time highs, and that's what caused this weekly chop was just all-time highs. So hopefully we get out of that. And yeah, that's it for today.